dating in New York City. There was that article that just came out where it was like, oh, new study conducted. New York is the worst dating scene out there for women. Let me tell you something. I think that it's on the mend. It definitely wasn't what it was a few years ago. But I think it's also because most people just left the city. Like, anyone that could went to the West Coast. They went and they were chilling and they were beachside, right? The dating scene now is very like, one, everyone is afraid of commitment because it's the constant mindset of like, oh, what if I find something better? Or like, what if the next person I meet is my soulmate? And two, it's very like, what's the word for like very high, like everyone's just constantly trying to like date as many people as possible because they think like volume is key. And also, there's no filtration. So people aren't like, sorry, there's something in my throat, but you know how normally when you're dating or like you're making friends, like there's a filtration system that you have. You're like, oh, like I'm looking for XYZ. I feel like now people will just waste time and just go on date with anyone they can. Like, people aren't prioritizing quality over quantity. That's what it is. I feel like it's very like, oh, like you look cute, or like you're kind of my type, or like, hey, you look like you're available, let's go on a date. And it's more so like chasing that how many first dates can you get rather than like optimizing to get a second date or a third date or fourth date or etc., right? And I feel like that narrative really has shifted what dating is in New York nowadays, because it's like no one wants to like settle down because they know very well that like people they're dating aren't the people that they would settle down with. And then that's just like reinforcing this thought process they have. And then they just keep putting themselves out there, and then they start settling. And I think what a lot of it is also just like, I did this when I first got here. You know, I had a lot of people whispered in my ear that were like, hey, like you should expand your scope. Like, you don't know what your type is, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, listen, your type is your type for a reason. I am well aware, but I had to like relearn that again in the past year or two. And so I would say like stick to your type and don't humor anything outside of that, because it's like, then you're just unnecessarily expending energy. And that's where a lot of this like, oh, New York has the worst dating scene ever gets like tied into all of this, right? Because like you're constantly going on these first dates and you're constantly putting yourself out there, but you're doing it in a way where it's not conducive to what you're optimizing for, right? Like it's not effective effort. It's just unnecessary effort. If you're not sure about someone, absolutely go figure it out, right? But if you're like from the get-go, like, oh, this person isn't normally my physical type, isn't like my personality type, or they don't have the things that I'm looking for, like, don't go. That's perfectly fine. And I think a lot of it too is just like the pressure of just saying yes to have dates, you know? Like, it's just like going through the motions, and that's on both the girls and the male side, girls and guys side. Like, both of them do that. And I think that's probably why there's so much like, New York is the worst dating scene. Let's be real. 5 years ago, New York had the best dating scene. I'll stand on that. It did. But it was because everyone was here. There was a culture to the city. There was, you know, a rhythm. Right now, New York has like lost its soul. Say what you want. Like, I firmly believe that New York is starting to come back to life. I think for a minute there, it really, really did just lose its like sparkle. And that's okay. You know, something pretty insane happened, the pandemic, and now people are just starting to like get back into the rhythm of things, you know, like happy hour culture is coming back. People are returning to the office very slowly. Like, you know, things are starting to kind of get back into the flow of it. And I think with that happening, dating is just going to be like another thing. This is all going to be a catalyst for dating. Like, that's going to start coming back to what it was previously as well. But yeah, I saw that article. I had like 2 or 3 different friends forward it to me, And I was like, ha ha ha. But in the inside, I was like, I don't think New York is the worst dating scene. I don't. But I've also dated in very different cities. Like before this, LA, that's a whole other ballpark. And then Seattle, that's a whole other ballpark as well. I think New York has the most options and the most like reach, but I think everyone here is afraid to settle down. They're afraid that there's like that whole like cuffing season's in the fall, so like no one wants to get into a relationship in summer. Like spring and summer, no one wants to be in a relationship. And then there's also like that whole like everyone does not like the dating apps anymore either. So like people are just straight up not on them anymore. And so you have to really go out and find people in real life. And my skin's like peeling. But yeah. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I don't, but I do think it's bad. I do think it's gonna resolve itself though. Like I think it's gonna start recovering and we're gonna start seeing improvements in the way that people are like dating. I think a lot of it too is like people just had a lot of time on their hands. Like we're just sitting around, we're all social distancing, like we've just gotten into like that headspace where it's just like you're just kind of like lollygagging, right? But now I can see it. Like when I'm people watching day to day, I can see it. There's a lot more like, oh, like I'm not just like walking around to walk around. I'm walking with purpose. Like I have things to do. I have places to be. It just feels more intentional. It feels like life is just starting to get more intentional here, which is great. I think it's a great start. And I think as people start like prioritizing work again and socializing again, like dating will just be like a byproduct of that. And I also do think that like there's a big discrepancy around how the different generations and different groups of people work. You know, like if you're in one industry, the work ethic is different from this, but then it's also like if you're one generation versus another, work ethics are different. And I think that's a big play into what you bring to the table, like how you approach the real world, friend making, dating, etc. Everything impacts everything, basically, right? Like that's a given. I feel like I really like somehow wound off topic, but we're dating in New York. It's rough, but it's not the worst I've been in, and I do think it's starting to recover. And I'm starting to be more intentional about it too. I definitely was like falling into that mindset of, oh, like just optimize for dates, like more dates is better. No. I tried it. It's not better. It's just exhausting. Don't do it. It's better to wait for quality than to go for quantity. And dating, everyone's like, it's a numbers game. I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I think it's a numbers game if every single time you get disheartened and then you lower your standards just a smidge. Yeah, eventually it's gonna get so low, it is a numbers game. But I don't think it is. I think it's a quality game. I don't even think it's a game. I think it's very much so like you have to put yourself in the situations and the environments to be surrounded by the people that you want to be surrounded by, and to be in an environment where you can get approached by your type or the person that you would want to be with, you know? And I think a lot of people are just like afraid to do that. Like people are, you know, no one wants to go and talk to someone these days. It's like going and seeing someone in person is like, ugh, right? Like meeting someone in real life is, everyone wants that, but it's also very daunting. I know, believe me, I'm trying too, but it's very daunting. And I think as we build our confidence back up, and as we build our confidence back up, like that will naturally come with time. Yep. Dating in New York is dating in New York. I think it's on the mend. I think it'll be good again. Very, very soon. Okay.